Did you ever have people like telling you even at that age to like you should get into modelling, you should get into
Mate, you would
acting,
actually be surprised. See, if you seen me at 18, like I did not, like, I've totally transformed. At first, the attention I was getting was quite a lot, so I never really knew how to deal with that.
Yeah. Have you ever had any moments where you feel like you're a bit just done with modelling?
Obviously, people only really see the highs, so they don't really see the lows so much.
Of course, yeah.
But there's more lows than there are highs.
Celebs go dating.
Yeah.
How was the whole experience, man? Talk to me.
They just contacted me on Instagram.
Yeah.
Had a few phone calls, went down, and when I got there, it was like, I'll be honest, I kind of started shitting myself.
So we're finally here. We're finally on the podcast. It's been a long time coming. A lot of you will know that this is something that I had wanted to do during COVID, but then the whole pandemic just made it all impossible for me to even do. So I just figured I'd wait and wait for the right time. And the right time is finally here. I'm here with an amazing guest today called Connor. And Connor's got such a cool track record. He's involved in so many different things, from modelling to fitness. So Connor, thank you for being here.
Thanks very much for having me, mate.
So I just want to know, like, obviously you've been doing this stuff for a while, over the past like 4 or 5 years. What has life looked like for you? What have you been up to?
Mate, my life's crazy, honestly. Like, you just never know what's coming next. But the past couple of years have obviously been really exciting. It's opened my mind to new ideas, and I'm a big believer. So I'm just kind of chasing the dream, to be honest, mate. Like, I wake up in the morning and I roll with the punches, and that's just my mindset.
Of course, yeah. No, that's awesome. See, in terms of like the modelling, I've always been quite curious to know. We've spent a bit of time together. We've obviously been at some of the Nova events, which we'll get into a little bit later. But I'm just curious to know, like, how did it start off for you? Because if I'm not wrong, how old are you again? You're 20?
I'm 24.
You're 24, so you're the same as me,
Getting
man.
on a bit. I won't be modelling for much longer. I love grey hair soon.
That's it. I'm the same. I've already got white hair, but I'll be honest, man. But like, how did it start off? So see, when you were like, were you in high school when you started all this stuff?
No, surprisingly, my mates and my mum and my dad, anybody that knows me relatively will probably tell you that I'm a bit of a opposing bastard. So,
oh, is it? So that started like in high school or before that then?
Yeah, but like professionally on a kind of level where I wanted to take it to new heights. Yeah. Last year after TV, an agent got in touch with me, and we had some chats back and forth. Martin's a great guy. So
is this from MK agency?
Yeah,
or? Okay.
MK. So,
is that how you pronounce it? Did I get that right?
Yeah,
cool.
MK. A lot of people say MK, but
yeah, it's quite a cool name though. I like it.
Karina, so I think that's where they got the idea, how original.
Got you. So when you were in like high school, did you not have any insight as to like, this is what I want to do, or like, how did it work? Like, I don't know.
I've always kind of liked, just being brutally honest, I've always kind of liked being in people's faces to a degree. Like, it's just something that I've enjoyed doing. Yeah. And last year kind of gave me the opportunity and the foundation to go and work at it. Yeah. And I thought that modelling was something that would come naturally to most people, but like, it's tough. People think it's like, it's easy going. Like, you need to maintain an image, you need to be in good shape physically, you need to be in good shape mentally. But to be honest, it's been the best thing that I've done. Like, I've made so many connections, I've met so many like-minded people that are on similar pathways to me, and I just feel like it's opened my mind to a stage where I believe that your achievements can be limitless. Yeah. See, if you genuinely put your mind to stuff, like, you can do whatever you want. Like, I feel like everything else in the back's just background noise. The
crazy stuff with like, even with what I do and like obviously my content stuff and your modelling, like the sky is literally like the limit. Like, you can, like, if you're just working in a corporate job, it's like, okay, you might get a few promotions here and there, but with our stuff, it's like you could just get like that crazy
just one
email
break.
Like, you could just get an email from the biggest brand in the world tomorrow, and then like that's you sorted, you know what I mean? And I feel like that's what keeps a lot of us going, you know, just knowing that anything can change at any point. And you know what
as well, like, it's actually quite tough, like, in today's generation, because a lot of people like to make noise.
Of course.
And I always feel like it, no disrespect if you work a corporate 9 to 5, like, hats off to you, because it's not easy. Yeah. But it's always people that are in these type of jobs that like to kind of have their say and try and make the background noise and put you down a little bit. And it's just like, mate, just do your thing. Like, I'm over here, I'm in my corner, I'm minding my own business. Like, just you do you and let me do me.
Yeah, I just feel like they probably envy it though, and they're just like, because again, as you say, like, there's some, obviously, like, this life is not for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Some people would just rather, like, I found it quite interesting, like, when I was like, I've always kind of done my own thing, but in the past, when I've obviously I did a bit of work for, I can't even remember, it was a company, and basically I just found that everyone was just really negative. Everyone was just wanting to like get their work done, go home and just watch TV with their dog and then go to sleep.
You just become a robot, don't you, if you're susceptible to this life? I feel like anyway. Look, if it suits you, like it suits you.
100%,
you can go and you can make a life out of it and you can be happy, then do it. But I just want bigger things, Aqib. Like when I think about my life, I dream big. Like I want to be the face of some big company, or I want to make my life. I want to leave a positive influence on people. Like, and that's the type of lifestyle that I want to prevail and drive.
Of course, yeah. So, I feel like, see, you know, when you obviously first started all your stuff and like you were obviously in high school, right? And you didn't obviously think you were going to start modelling. So what was your, like, were you in the mindset of getting a corporate job then at that point? Or were you like kind of unsure?
So I did do an apprenticeship. I done one in marine engineering.
Right, okay.
But mate, like it's miserable. And to be fair, like my mum and dad are probably my biggest supporters, right? Like they support me in everything that I do, and they believe and they know that I can achieve things if I get the right opportunity and I'm in the right mindset. But even my dad, to a certain degree, is still like, mate, why don't you jump back on the boats?
I feel like that's just a parent thing.
Jump back on the boats. And I'm like, because I don't want to be on the boats. Like, in the middle of the sea at 40 degrees and you're down in an engine room sweating, like you miss home. Like, what's the point? Like, life shouldn't be like wake up and you're middle-aged and you need to go to your corporate job and you're miserable and you miss your family. Like, I just want to live. Yeah, of course. No, I definitely can, like, I can relate to that, like, on so many levels. Do you feel like the fact that you had this job and you didn't really 100% like it, do you feel like that is what maybe had an effect on you obviously wanting to then pursue modelling and pursue like things outside of... To be fair, like, I did like the job, but look, the thing with every job is, right, is it gives you money, like it gives you freedom. Yeah, but what is freedom? Like, because it's not freedom, is it? Like, to a degree, you're trapped. I guess everyone's definition of freedom is completely different. Totally, you know what I mean? But freedom for me is like I can wake up every day and I can be happy and pursue whatever dream I've got. That's freedom for 100%. Me. 100%. I think a big part of it is just being able to wake up and just do whatever you want as well. But it is. Do you know what I mean? Like for me, that's a big part of it. Like I want to be able to get up and like, okay, I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go get a haircut today. I don't need to wait until... Sounds like my life. Yeah, I don't need to wait until a certain day to go get my haircut. I can just go get a haircut if I want to. If I want to get a haircut on a Tuesday, I'll get one. Nobody's going to stop me. No, 100%. So... Yeah, but then obviously in school, so you literally had like no sign or no idea that you did want to get into modelling at all. Were you not? You said you were always a bit of a poser, so was this on like socials? Was this on like Snapchat? Do you know what it's like when you're younger, just full of bravado? I just used to cut a bit and just think, do you know what, this is so it was like confidence probably. I've always been a confident type of person, like, and I've never let anybody kind of tell that away from me. Did you ever have people like telling you even at that age to like, you should get into modelling, you should get into acting? Mate, you would actually be surprised. See, if you seen me at 18, like I did not, like, I've totally transformed. I looked as if I was out in Dairylease, mate. Like fair enough, mate. Fair enough. Like, full tracky, short back and sides. Like my hair was so short on the top. I looked as if I just got out of prison when I was like 18. Oh, okay, fair enough. That makes sense then. But, you've had a glow up then. That's basically what you're saying. But, do you know, it happens to be after like relationships and that. I feel like I seem to glow up. I don't know if it's either God's plan or... It's probably just like in your head, you're just like, I need to be better. You start training. I feel like it's a kind of I wake up with that mentality effect every day. I could like, when I wake up, I'm like, how, especially recently, like I wake up and I'm like, I need to be better. Yeah. Like, in a sense, it's a kind of toxic relationship with myself because I'm like, I'm never going to be happy. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Like I wake up and I'm like, all I can think about is how am I going to be better than what I was yesterday? Or like, I'm always moving on to the next best thing for me. Yeah. And it's I feel that it's important when you're in a line of work to like have gratitude. You need to like slow down sometimes and realise what you've done and where you are and go like, do you know what, actually maybe I should pat myself in the back to a degree. Because anybody that I speak to from an outsider's perspective will say to me like, oh Connor, you've done some great things, you've worked with these companies, like you were on TV, you've done this and that, and I'm just like, it's average. Yeah. But to the average human being, it's not average, and it's a compliment, and I think it's, especially recently, I've took a lot more time to do some soul searching and sit down and be like, do you know what? Life ain't that bad. Yeah, I feel like we need to... One thing I've been battling with is just trying to be more grateful for what's in front of me, because I'm the same. Like I remember I was
like obviously I started a lot of this content stuff quite early, so I was still in high school, but I was like going to events, I was going to like film events, and I was like, there were so many people there, there was like well-known people there, and I was like literally going home from school and then going to these events, and a lot of people would say to me like, oh, like you're so lucky you're able to do this, and at the time for me it was just quite normal, you know.
I did see a quote, but I can't remember it exactly word for word, but it basically said that like the past you would have dreamed of the situation that you're in today.
Yeah, 100%.
But you wake up and all you can think about is your next dream.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah,
it's important to just sit back sometimes and go, like, do you know what? Like, I'm riding a wave and I'm on it. And I feel like that now, especially recently. I've calmed down and I'm like, do you know what? I'm riding this wave and I'm rolling with the punches and I'm ready for anything that comes my way. And I think you need to have that mentality.
I feel like we're like a unique breed though as well, man, because we're always like trying to be better, and sometimes you forget like, where's the line, you know? Yeah. When are you going to be happy? You know, I think that's something that I do struggle with as well.
It's true.
But so in terms of like, you've obviously been modelling for a good few years now. Yeah. Have you had some big jobs that you're proud of? Because I'll be honest, I don't want to say it because I want to obviously hear it from you. Yeah, but I have seen some really like impressive stuff from you. And see, when I first met you, it was probably like, last year now? Yeah. And you were obviously doing your modelling and you had some nice jobs. But some of the stuff that I've seen over the past year, like your growth has just been wild, and it's so cool to see that. So are there any like just things that you're proud of doing?
I mean, the Black Rooster job was pretty cool.
I was going to say that. That was the one
and people still send the pictures, do you know what I mean? Like it's literally everywhere. If you go to any Black Rooster store, yeah, it's on the window or it's on the screens, or even at the airport. Like I was coming through arrivals and I'm just looking at myself, and it is moments like that, it kind of comes around full circle and you're like, do you know what, we're on the right path. Yeah,
it's the airport one for me, man. That was crazy. When I saw that, I was like, I remember like when I went on holiday, I went to that exact bit and like got my luggage, and the fact that you've literally got your face plastered on there now, it's insane.
It is funny, to be fair enough.
Do you ever get like family?
Do you know, see when I was in arrivals, I was standing next to it and I was like, I wonder if anybody will notice this is me.
just stand there next to it, innit? And like just wave. Yeah,
hurry up and notice crazy.
It's me. Have you had like family and stuff like sending you photos of that and being like, oh,
mate, literally anybody that I know that walks through it, they're like, haha, you're in the airport, and I was like, mate, it's been there for weeks, I know.
That's hilarious.
But man, that was cool, and this is me going on again, but it's like I said, like I'm always planning for the future, so I'm just kind of manifesting what jobs I can get and how far can I take it, and I think with the right team around me and the right people pushing me, and that goes for you as well, because if anybody ain't checked out the work that you've got going on, Aqib, I feel like they need to check it out quick.
I appreciate because that, man,
it's tough. Like the work you do, it's difficult because nobody ever really sees the face of the work that goes behind your work.
That's why I'm doing the podcast now, so people can now see the face.
Exactly. But, it's time for you to get some
you're 100% right though. It's it is crazy though, and I think going back to the point you made about like sometimes you just don't realise how good things are until you're walking in Glasgow Airport and you see yourself on one of the screens.
It's like a full circle moment.
I find that the funniest part of that, like shout out Black Rooster, they're obviously an amazing business, but you would never think like, see, obviously with you and doing your modelling, you would always think that these opportunities would come from like clothing, and the fact that this has came from like a chicken shop, that's crazy. Like I think that gets me onto like my next point about like, have you ever had any like just strange requests for modelling and like you're just a bit like, I don't know if this is for me.
That was the one thing for me when I started out. I always swore like modelling's a weird industry.
There's a lot of like, stuff going on in modelling.
Kind of levels to it. Do you know what I mean? Like I've met guys. Like, there was a boy who signed with me now. I met Jay's name is. He is honestly killing it, man. Like deals with Zara, Bershka. Like he's signed in Milan, signed in Berlin. And bro, this is in the space of a year. This guy's doing this.
Oh wow,
do you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And like, it's just crazy. Like, but the work that he's doing is like, mate, put a vest on, jump in a horse in a field. Like, I can't do that.
Wild, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
But do you feel like you're probably at a level where you can kind of just say no if you don't feel like you're feeling it?
I always swore when I was starting out that I wouldn't take on any jobs that never really suited my niche.
Yeah.
But then again, I feel that it's important to put yourself out your comfort zone. You need to be open to new ideas.
Of course, yeah, definitely.
But I mean,
you have to draw the line somewhere though.
Do I fancy like jumping on a horse with my pants off in the middle of a field? You're all good, mate.
Can you imagine if we just see a video come out in the next few weeks of that? I'd like people will be clipping this and then we'll be sending it to you. But no, 100%. I think like the modelling, even the content space, which what I do is like there's so many bits and bobs.
See, I actually prefer doing stuff like this to the modelling because modelling's a funny one. Like, especially in the pictures, because a lot of them are serious. Yeah. So like people look at, like, they can look at the pictures, but they don't know Like, what is your personality like?
Yeah.
And I've got a lot of personality.
I can definitely tell, 100%. That's the thing, like, see, when we first met, like, bro, I meet so many people, and like think about all the different industries I work in, but every now and then I'll just come across someone that is like so sound, easy to talk to.
Yeah.
And that's obviously why this is like, it stemmed into like a podcast. It stemmed into us obviously potentially working in projects in the near future,
which
and
I'm
planning.
looking forward to also.
And it's like, it's just crazy how that can just come up so randomly, you know? But yeah, I think you're going to have a lot of opportunities to kind of like show your kind of unique self more. And that's the big thing these days. I feel like it's people that can talk, people that have personality, and obviously reality TV show, that's a big one, which I'm sure we're going to get into soon. But like, obviously you've got all these people around you and they're sending you photos of your photo on the video in Glasgow Airport. That's another thing about this podcast, by the way. It's crazy because like all of it's done in one take. I'm trying to keep this as raw as possible. So see if I mess up, I'm just going to keep it in. I'm not even going to cut it out because that's the best way. But what I was trying to say is you've obviously got people sending you the photos of you appearing in Glasgow Airport on the screens, and you have people saying such amazing things. Do you ever feel like you have people that are maybe a bit more negative towards it, or they're kind of like...
Yeah, I'm looking forwed to this conversation.
Let's talk about it, bro. Let's do it, man.
Mate, I've honestly, you can ask anybody, I could not give a flying fuck what anybody thinks of me. And that is just me keeping it as raw and as straight as possible, because I'm me, and I just do me. Yeah. Like, that is it. I've always just done me, and I always feel like the people who have something to say about you, they say it in the background. Like, nobody will come to me and be like, why are you doing this, or why are you doing that? It's always, if they see me, like, oh, you're smashing it. It always comes. But then maybe they'll go into their little groups and quiet groups, and they'll be like, oh, you seen what he's doing? But the thing is like, don't you worry about me. Like, I'm staying in my lane, and I'm working towards something. But what are you doing? 100%.
I feel like it always comes from like, it will never come from the person. It will always come from like a mutual, or someone will say that this person was saying this, and
mate, it's Chinese whispers, but like it's like I said, it's background noise to me. In fact, if anything, it's good, because like, the fact you're talking about me, it's relevant.
I don't want you obviously to like name drop anyone, but like, have you had any like specific instances where, obviously you're saying that for the most part you're able to kind of just push through it, but would I be correct in saying that maybe at the beginning it was a bit harder to just kind of like push through it?
Yeah, because it's like, it's an adjustment at the end of the day. So at first, the attention I was getting was quite a lot, so I never really knew how to deal with that. But I think it was just because I was adjusting, so I never really knew too much, like how do I take people here? But I've never really, if anybody's got something nasty to say to me, I'm just like, bro,
just smash them in it.
I just ain't interested.
100%. It's
the
like, best
get
way
on
to
with your
be,
day,
man.
mate. Like, I've got better things to do than pay attention, and I also think that a lot of what you do is energy based. So if I allow people's negative saying or negative mindsets and negative opinions creep into my life, then my life will just drop down to their frequency, and I'm on a higher plane. Like, you can stay down there and you can yap and chat and say he's this, he's that, he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that, but like, fuck off, mate.
It's literally the best way. I feel like for you, you were lucky in a sense though, because see, you know, if you'd started a lot of this in school, I feel like you might have got some slack for it, depending on...
Do you know what? I actually wish I started it earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because see, at the same time, even though you get slack, like, who cares?
I don't want to say that in like a bad way, by the way. Like, you get slack for it, but people just, especially in that age group, I feel like they've got so much to say. And I went through that as well, man. Just people like, oh, why are you... Like, bro, I was just making videos. Obviously, see, modeling's a bit more of a... I'd say it's a bit more touch. Obviously, you're posing in front of the camera, and it's an easy thing for people to just start talking about, right? With me, I was just behind a camera, and I used to get like so much shit. People were like, even just this YouTube stuff, and like I used to do some content back in the day, and people would always just have something to say about it. And it's so sad, man, because when they used to say that, it literally made me stop. And then I had this whole gap, and I think I came to a realization, and I feel like you're probably on the same wave as this, but the example that I saw, it was actually on another podcast, and they were saying that, you know, the Queen, she was arguing, like basically the Queen was one of the most obviously well-known people in the world, the most influential person, and everyone knew who she was, right? But then seeing like now that she's passed away, you probably didn't even think about her until I've mentioned her right now.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? And it makes you think, like, if people are forgetting about people like that after they've passed, then who are we? Do you get what I mean?
We ain't nothing.
And it's like, that's why I just try to live my life. It's like, as long as I enjoy what I'm doing and whatever,
the rest of it's just nice.
I just do whatever I want to do, because simply put, man, no one cares. No one really gives a shit. Do you know what I mean? And I remember I used to put up videos and photos and stuff, and like, it might not have obviously blown up or gotten like crazy likes.
Those are the ones that, do you know something, but see, when you collect a bank of that stuff,
yeah,
that's what counts the most.
Yeah, but I just feel like it didn't get crazy likes, and I would be self-conscious. I'd be like, oh yeah, like I'm kind of like pissed, like no one really got to see this.
Yeah.
You know, and then I would feel like, oh shit, like people are going to think that like no one wants to see my content, and it just makes me kind of look a bit bad, and it's just one of them ones, you know.
That's what happens when you build something from the ground up, though.
Yeah,
like,
no, definitely.
And I think that's important as well.
Yeah, no,
because when you build something from the floor to where you've got it today, like your work's amazing.
That's it, man. That's what I try to remind myself. So it's definitely interesting, man. But it's good to see that obviously the hate side, you just don't let it phase you, because it's the best way to do it, man.
It also makes you stronger to a degree, because you build a resilience against it. Mm-hmm. Whereas let's not beat about the bush. Nobody likes it when people ain't saying nice stuff about them.
Yeah.
But maybe at the start I would have maybe took it to heart slightly. Mm-hmm. But the more it goes on, you'll just like, give me it.
Yeah.
Do
you know what, another thing, like, because I've obviously been doing a bit of work for like some quite well-known YouTubers in the past, and a lot of them say the same thing. It's like, see, if you aren't getting hate, then you're doing something wrong, because see, anyone that is even moderately successful, there's going to be someone that will have something to say about them, right?
Yeah, it's fact.
Like, you could literally, like, one example I feel like I want to use is, you obviously know about Prime, right? Hydration. Yep. It's obviously... It's a $1 billion company now. They've done so well with it, Logan and KSI. I'm not sure what your thoughts are about them. But the thing is, that drink is getting so much hate, and people are like, oh yeah, it's filled with all of these crazy chemicals. Yeah, there's so much random stuff in it.
I don't know if you've seen the thing about Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about.
Crazy.
So, but the thing is,
they're suing him now.
Yeah, they're suing him. But see, the point of this, like, again, I'm not some like genius that knows about all these ingredients, right? But see, the fact that this drink is owned by arguably like two of the biggest faces on the internet, they're just subject to so much hate, like regardless of what is in that drink, right? So I just feel like, yeah, you're never going to win if you've obviously got a big following. Like, no matter what you do, someone will have something to say. Like, it's right. Do you know what I mean? So that's one example that I think the main thing is,
as long as you're comfortable in your own skin and you're comfortable in what you're doing, fuck everybody else.
Yeah. Are you into boxing? You mentioned Ryan Garcia.
I actually had a couple of amateur fights when I was younger.
Oh shit, so. Okay. Yeah, recently you've been doing a bit of boxing. I think we'll get into like the fitness stuff in a bit, but the whole boxing stuff, like with Ryan as well, and like, did you watch that fight with the last one that he had?
Yeah, classmate, school.
Yeah, it was crazy. I heard all this stuff afterwards, and how he was.
Did you see the stuff before?
Yeah, that was wild, man. Bro, I was showing my wife that, and I was like, this guy is
Bohemian Grove.
Yeah, he was just going crazy about all this stuff, and so many people were confused, because it's like, you know, if this guy is being serious, why is he talking about it? Because he's obviously got so much. Like, he's got so much to lose, right?
I honestly, like, we don't understand. Like, people look at YouTubers, right, and they maybe look at, like, take for example Andrew Tate. Somebody will look at Andrew Tate, or they'll look at maybe Logan Paul's, and they're like, oh, these guys are just like jumping on and talking nonsense, but they're not. They're marketing geniuses.
100%.
They are telling you stuff that is either controversial or something that you're going to take in so much that everybody's discussing it.
Of course, yeah.
All they're doing is marketing themselves.
Yeah.
Because at the end, I think that's one of the things about modelling. Like, I am my own business at the end of the day. Like,
of course.
And I need to invest in myself, so you need to market yourself as best as possible.
Yeah,
and
that's it.
People think it's just by luck these guys are like phenomenons, internet sensations. It's not.
Of course.
It's premeditated. Everything. They've probably got a plan.
So yeah, like obviously we've covered the modelling side. Super impressive. Obviously you've built up a great track record of different projects, different gigs, with chicken places, with clothing brands. Another thing that I really liked was the Ibrox shoot that you done. That wasn't... Was that? Yeah, Hampton, that's it. I got it wrong. But was that for a clothing brand, I'm assuming?
Wedding.
Oh,
I've done quite a lot of work for like wedding companies.
Right, got you. Okay.
So, mad. Probably only
so
time
is
I'll
this
ever get
like
married.
when you say wedding company, is it like a suit company or clothing?
To be fair, that one was actually for Hampden.
Oh, so for promoting the venue.
Hampden are like officially open as a wedding venue, and if you want to get a wedding there, it's a pretty penny.
God, yeah, I can imagine, man. But the thing is, bro, what I've learned with weddings, like diving into it a bit myself with filming them, people do have good budgets, man. Like when it comes to weddings, bro, people like to spend money, especially within like my community and like Asians. We just love to obviously like fork out and just have like a blast, you know.
I'll be honest, I've seen some, man.
Like you have Pakistani weddings which are like, they're pretty like nice. You have some cool cars, and then you have like Indian weddings which are just like they party, bro. They just
I need invited to one of them. Like,
big time, man. I'll see what I can do. But yeah, like the Indian weddings are just crazy, man. Like they'll just. It's just a weird structure, bro, because they'll start off and they'll eat and then they'll drink and then they'll party and then they'll stop and then they'll eat again and then they'll dance again and then they just like, it's just like back and forth, bro. It's just, it's such cool vibes, man. Like I respect it a lot. But yeah, another part of your life, which I know is super predominant, would be like the fitness space.
Yep.
I know it's something you've been actively like pursuing now for a while. So what made you kind of like take the jump into fitness?
To be honest, starting out, it's important to me that I feel that if you're physically fit, you're mentally fit. And if I don't have a structured routine or a goal that I'm actively working towards, then I feel like I can feel myself slipping. Of course, and then I can start to go into a bit of a darker place because I'm not looking after myself. Yeah, so it's like a mental thing for you. Yeah, it is a mental thing, but I think that I get the positive mentality out of looking good, and like I said, being a model as well, it's important that I need to uphold and maintain my image. Do you feel like there's some element of pressure in there as well when like... Yeah, but it's also not pressure because I enjoy doing it. So I get a buzz. I get a buzz out of looking good and I get a buzz out of feeling good. So the pressure's always there to obviously maintain and uphold my image, but I do it anyway. That's probably why I'm in a line of work that I'm in. Of course, yeah. No, definitely. I've always kind of thought about that, and it's like... You have like one thing that's super popular right now is like the bodybuilders and the PTs, and a lot of people say it's hard, man, because like you literally need to like maintain that physique because people are following you because of your physique and how you look. So it's like if you let it slack for like a few months, man, then you're gonna have it's hard, man. A million people on your comments calling you chubby, big time. So I've always like thought about that, and I guess it's not like too far off with like modelling as well, because you obviously want to be looking your best. Not that you're doing like topless stuff all the time. I would like to. That's on my bucket list. Get a Calvin Klein shoot. Is it? No, I mean Baywatch on the beach, tops off. Yes, please. That's it. That's like you honestly. That's what I'm saying though. You never know, man. What could come? You know what I mean? If you don't dream big. Yeah, like there's all these different castings, and even in like Glasgow, there's been so many movies that have been filmed here recently, and sometimes they're actually looking for like local talent. And another thing that I learned as well quite recently is see a lot of these big brands like Calvin Klein, like what we forget is like see their marketing teams, they're usually just like normal people like us. Mate, the thing is like see these brands like everybody's like listen to this dick talking about Calvin Klein, but like listen, somebody's going to be standing in front of that camera, so why can it not be me? Yeah, like I've got a friend, like shout out Suhit, but he's got like a influencer marketing agency, and this guy, like he's worked with like Acer, Asus, he's worked with like, you know, the microphone company Shure that everyone uses. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but he's like working with some crazy companies, and it just goes to show like it's not impossible, you know, like you can definitely like achieve like your goals of working with these brands. It's just about having yourself out there as obviously like what you're doing, and just hoping like the right person sees the content, right? And then they obviously just click on there like this is the person that we need, you know. So that's the way I see it. But yeah, like see when it comes to training, and like obviously training requires so much consistency, and you do so much as well. I feel like you also got your modelling. I can see that you travel quite a bit as well. Like how do you like fit it all in? Because I find it tough personally. See, the biggest thing for me is, I don't know if you've ever seen the quote when people say invest in yourself more than you invest in your job. So I have a coach, and it's a guy that I've known since my TV appearance. I met him when I was there, and we've been really close since, and I pay him monthly, and he literally lays a roadmap out. He says, look, eat this, train this, and I just stick to it, and I try and follow it to the letter. And I think even something as small as that helps build discipline in my own head as well. So I do train with intensity. I'm eating good at the minute. I do have a feel good factor. Like I've got my mojo back a bit. I'm starting to feel like myself again. Of course, I have noticed that it's like the domino effect, man, isn't it? Like you are what you eat essentially, and that's how you're gonna feel. 100%. But do you ever like? I'm assuming do you cook a lot yourself, or yeah. So is that something you just kind of got into as you got into the fitness journey, or have you always been into like being a chef? My mum's always kind of made like good scran, healthy stuff. Like So I've always just kind of been interested in it when she's been cooking, and I was like, how'd you do this, how'd you do that? And I kind of learned to cook from a young age, to be fair. And my mum and dad are always on holiday, so
that's good.
I'm kind of domesticated in that sense.
That's good. I struggle with that a little bit sometimes, like see just certain things. Like now that I'm married, it's obviously different, right?
Yeah.
But before, like I feel like if I wanted like a healthy munch, I would rather just go get it from outside. Like you know, for example, we were talking about like Black Rooster earlier on, or like Pepe's, for example, or like just like a lot of these places they now do quite healthy stuff, so it's not as bad as it once. Like, you know, if you were to get a takeaway 10 years ago, it would be something unhealthy. It would be like 100%. You know what I mean, like a burger. But now it's a bit more like you can get cleaner food, but then you end up just spending so much money on it as well. And I think the way to do it is to just learn how to cook. I think my issue, like I'm alright like with the basics, I can do like eggs and all that shit, right? But it's when you're doing like multiple things at once, and then my brain, bro, it just goes crazy, and I struggle with that side of things. But it's something that I'm trying to get more into, because eating clean is so important. And there's this guy on Insta, I don't know if you've seen him, his name's Eddie. And he always
I've seen this guy.
Yeah, and he's always
just scanning duck legs and that.
Yeah, he's always just
eat good food. I mean, that guy.
That's it. Yeah. He's always going on about like some of the points he makes. See his delivery. I feel like his delivery sometimes comes across a bit like
what's on it? What kind of content?
So his whole thing, he's trying to preach like
it's organic food in it.
Not even organic, but it's like, you know, when you go to the shop and then you see like a sugar-free protein bar, right?
Yeah,
he's basically trying to get at
processed shit.
It's processed shit, and I kind of get that, right? He's a big advocate for having meals that are just more like raw ingredients.
That's what I'm saying, like organic.
Yeah, so like having like eggs, having like feta cheese or whatever, just having just like the actual ingredient on your plate.
It's probably true though, like, because if it grows on the floor, then like, my uncle's mad for it. Like he only eats like organic food, like juices. All his fruit goes to the market, gets organic fruit, and like won't drink tap water. Conspiracy theorist asked him what he wanted for his birthday.
Yeah,
and he was like, a gun. I said,
really?
like, why?
That's wild.
Why would you like a gun? And
you need to give context, man.
yeah. I said, like, why would you like a gun? He says that the government are out to get us all, and that they're going to turn all the money to internet cash, and he wants to move to a house in the sticks where he can have a turret on top of a castle, and he can just sit there, and if anybody comes to get him, he said he won't have a phone, so if we need to contact each other, I've not to worry, because he'll contact me.
Yeah,
so
I feel
I'm
like
thinking about checking him into Fraggle or something.
Yeah, your uncle seems like a good person to be around, man.
Mate, the conversations you get at that guy are wild, honestly.
Yeah, that's
Legend.
Insane. It's so true though, because like, you know, even just with all this stuff that we're consuming these days, I read something about like, I don't know how true this is, right? But like, we have obviously Coca-Cola, right? And I try not to drink too much of it now, because I just know it's bad for me. But they say that there's so much salt in Coca-Cola to the point where they use the sugar to cover it up. So the point of the salt is to make you try drink more of it.
Oh, because it dehydrates you.
Yeah, so it's just like,
a degree.
Yeah.
Have you ever been like really drift and had like a sip out a can of Coke?
I'll be honest, I'm still a bit of a sucker for like soft drinks, man. It's such a bad habit, bro. Like I would really love to just get away from it and just be on not 100% water. Like even my water is sitting here and I've not even touched it. But yeah, like I feel like these days, see all the foods that we eat, they're just filled with like the craziest stuff, and they've got all these different things. Even like if you get a chicken from the supermarket, like chances are
it's pumped with water.
Yeah, so it makes it bigger, and it's like obviously they get more profit when they go to sell it to farmers, you know. And it's kind of scary that we live in like that type of world now, you know. So yeah, but I think raw ingredients is the best way to do it. So I'm trying to get better at cooking. So maybe you can give me some tips, man, when we start filming some content in it.
Yeah, I'll get you a meal plan wrote out.
Yeah, no, I'm down for that, man. It's just, I think staying consistent is the hard bit as well.
It is.
So if someone is looking to try live a healthier life, they're trying to get into better shape, maybe it's for like their modelling, or maybe it's just because they want to just feel good and look good in general, what advice would you give to them?
Invest in yourself. First and foremost, invest in yourself. If you ain't tracking or monitoring what you're doing, then I feel like you're wasting your time. You can't go into something like this blindsided. I think you need to get your starting point, find your baseline, and make sure that you're checking your progress every week, like relentlessly.
Yeah.
Make sure that you're tracking how you're supposed to track, and make sure that you've got somebody else that can hold you accountable. I would say maybe surround yourself with people that are on the same journey. So if your mates are going out and getting bladdered and pissed, then no disrespect, but the chances are they're going to be suffering on a Monday. So it's just about surrounding yourself with the right people, make the right investments, and make sure that you track everything to the letter.
Have you ever had any moments where you feel like you're a bit just done with modelling, or like you're kind of just wanting to maybe see what like the next thing is, or?
Yeah, see, it's a funny business because obviously people only really see the highs, so they don't really see the lows so much.
Of course, yeah.
But there's more lows than there are highs. So like, if you're constantly casting for jobs, like, it's a game of opinions, and I feel like it's different horses for different courses. So you might not be suited to one person, but just because you took 5 no's doesn't mean that you won't get a yes. You just need to look in the right place.
Of course, yeah.
So, but yeah, I have been in places where I've thought, like, is this for me? But what would your life be if you never had something to chase?
Yeah.
If you never had some sort of vision, or you never had a dream to chase, then what is your life? What's the point?
Yeah, it's a really good way to put it.
And I feel like you would go into robot mode and see that. To me, I think that would kill me inside. Like waking up every day and going, there's nothing to chase.
Yeah, I can definitely relate to that, man. It's you always are going to have moments where you're like questioning, like, is this the right thing? Am I wasting my time? But then there's a reason why we just wake up and we just do the same shit, because we love it. And I think sometimes you just get burnt out as well. Maybe you're doing a bit much. You need to, it's a sign that you need to obviously kick back and have a bit of a break, you know?
100%.
So yeah, extremely normal. So one thing I wanted to also talk about as well, I don't want to dive too much on this, but celebs go dating.
Yeah.
How was the whole experience, man? Talk to me.
Mate, amazing. Bittersweet by the time it was finished, I would say, but amazing. Like, I met some unbelievable people, and to be honest, it was a real test for me, because like, all my mates have always been saying to me, like, oh mate, you should go and do this show, do that show, like, because I'm quite an outgoing, I'm like a bouncy kind of character.
I can definitely see that.
So like, they've always said to me, like, you'd smash that, go and get that done.
Of course, yeah.
That was kind of the first one that popped up that they gave me. Like, I actually said, look, you can do that if you want to come. But the first time I came down, I went blindsided. Like, I never knew who was going to be here.
Yeah.
Like, I never knew who the celebs were. It could have been Susan Boyle.
Yeah,
and I would have been tangoing with her at the back garden.
Can you imagine that? That'd be crazy. Do you think you still would have just went with it if it was someone?
In fact, I would have rolled with the punches. That's what life's about, roll with the punches.
Okay. I could just imagine that. But yeah, like, no, it definitely seems like you enjoyed it. And see, the whole thing that it came about, if I'm not wrong, it was like an Instagram message or something like that. Yeah,
so they just contacted me on Instagram. Had a few phone calls, went down, and when I got there, it was like, I'll be honest, I kind of started shitting myself, because I was like, I'm looking around. So basically they put us up in a hotel the night before the first mixer, and I was in the hotel, and I'm in the bar. I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go for a pint, because if I'm in a hotel, other people are going to be in this hotel.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start sussing people out. I'm a big people watcher. Yeah. Like, I'm the type of person that will sit and watch you in your car, and
oh shit! But I'll be honest, but I'm like that as well.
Like, I'll be in my own car and I'll see somebody walk by, and I'll be like,
you have to analyse everyone in the room.
I'll just make them like, I don't know if anybody else plays this game, but I'll give them a name, and I'll be like, he's into this, like, he's into get these hobbies, and this is his job, and I just like make a film.
I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm wrong half the time, but I feel like I can see if I'm sitting with someone for a few minutes, I can really like
read it.
I can read them so well, bro. Like, I don't know if it's just because I guess you're kind of in the same boat in the sense of like you've been around so many different types of people.
Yep.
I'm the same as well, and I feel like after a while you just get good at reading the room, and you can kind of work out like. I don't know, sometimes it's hard, but I think you do get a better understanding of kind of what people are like, you know?
I know, but I went for a pint anyway, so I was sitting down at this bar, sussing and people were coming into the bar, and it was like beard, tattoos, so I was like, he's here because I'm here. Yeah. Know what I mean? Like, we're here for the same person, mate, so you better buckle your shoes up.
Oh, really? That must have been so awkward though.
No, it wasn't, no, I thought it would have been, but I don't know if it's just because of the type of person I am. I was like, the guy sat at the bar, have a pint, let's go. Yeah. Sitting having a pint with a guy, we were at the gym, sauna together in the morning, like, it's just, it was a proper good experience, and see the people that I've met through that one time, like, they're like mates that I'll keep close to me forever, that are driving their own type of stuff now as well, like, whether that be their own business or whether they're big in modelling. One of the guys is like, he's massive fitness influencer now, deals with Gymshark, like, it's cool to meet people like that, and you can watch someone else's progress and go, like, it's possible. Keeps the dream alive.
Of course. No, I love that.
But the whole experience was amazing. Like,
something different. Like, what was your reaction, you know, when they first messaged you and you got that message? Like, have you watched the show in the past though?
Nah, never.
Oh, is it?
Never.
I'll be honest, man, I've never really watched it either. I think I did, like, I don't know where I found it, but I did see your clip.
Yeah.
It was, like, I can't remember how long it was, but I did see, like, a part of it, and I was kind of getting, like, an idea of what the show is about. It's crazy, man. Like, some of these reality TV shows, like, the concepts, they are quite cool.
I love the whole experience.
It's entertaining, though, isn't it? And that's what it is. It's entertainment.
It is entertainment, but see, at the same time, like, this is my personality. I thrive being in situations with new people because I just like to bounce off people and get to know people. Like, that's my personality. So to get a chance to do it on people, like, was it not daunting or was it not scary with all these big cameras around you? Like, mate, I never even noticed they were there.
Yeah.
Like, I was just engrossed in the conversation that much that I was just like, this is a yazoo. I cannot believe people get paid to do this.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. It's I can't even imagine, like, though, how that must have felt when you got that message and you're like, okay, shit. You must have been skeptical. You were saying you were skeptical.
Yeah, I was skeptical just because, for one, I had never watched the show.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't even know how big the show is. Like,
it's pretty big.
Yeah, it is pretty big, but this is what I'm saying. Like, even now, I still look at it from my point of view. Like, people will be like, that's massive, but I'm like, is it? Do you know what I mean? Like, is it really massive? I don't know.
No, 100%.
So I would still look at it with that kind of mindset, and I'm saying I need to be more grateful, so maybe I should sit back and be like, do you know what, it is quite big. But
yeah. No,
I was sceptical because I wasn't sure, for one, how big a show was, and two, I never knew who the celebs were.
Right, yeah.
So I was like on the phone to this woman, I was like, look, I'm about to come to London, so if you're drafting me down here for Susan Boyle, there's going to be trouble.
No way. Imagine Susan Boyle watches this, man. She'll be like, damn, man, this guy's talking bad about me. But no, I doubt she'll be watching, man. No. We're good, we're all right.
I might fire it. I'm going to fire it into the DMs.
So that's it, exactly.
What are you saying, gal?
Can you imagine? Oh, we'll get her on the show next. But no, that's like super interesting. So see, in terms of like TV, have you got any like future plans in the space?
Like, I'll keep my cards close to my chest. I've got some ideas in my head of things that I would like to do, but I like to leave a door open and let people think.
Of course, yeah.
So if you're going to make noise, then why don't you make some noise and let me know what you think.
You have to keep that curiosity going as well.
And I'm keeping my cool as well, to be honest. I'm just in a spot right now where I'm just focusing on me, Aqib. And I feel like in order for me to get presented with opportunities, I need to be 100% me. Like, I need to be given everything in the gym. I need to be in the best shape physically. I need to be good with people. I need to have better relationships with people, which is something that I've struggled with recently, to be honest. Like, I know that I've probably not been as good a person as what I could be to people lately, and that's something that I'm working on. So I need to. I think that everything happens in life and it teaches you lessons, and I'm just I'm still learning myself. Like, but I'm waking up and I'm realising that, do you know what, I can do better. I can do better by myself, and I can do better by other people.
Though, to an extent, I feel like we all have our own issues.
It's easy to be tough on yourself, but I know that I can do better, and I'm learning from my mistakes, and I think that's what's most important. You need to learn from your mistakes.
It's a good mindset to have, though, because not a lot of people think like that. People just think that they've made it, they're happy, they're good, they don't need to work on anything, they're perfect, but like sometimes that can't be further from the truth, and there's just so much that we need to do to obviously level up, you know. This is a big part of it for me now, because I feel like everything else I've actually kind of got good. Do you know what I mean? Like, I've got a determination to go and train. For sure.
Like, I can sit in a room full of people I don't know and tell a joke and people will laugh. But how it's about what I do that impacts other people. That's something that I need to take accountability for one, and I need to just work on.
Of course.
I just want to do better by myself and do better by people.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, I can relate to almost everything you said there. So I think we definitely need to talk about how obviously we met. It was at the Nova event, and like I want to talk about Nova because I feel like they've just been doing some really cool things lately. So how did you even meet the guys? So Aaron and Owen.
Mate, this is a mad story, right?
Yeah, tell me.
It's like I said, my life's a movie, so it's. I was doing deliveries for Cost Cutter, right?
For Cost Cutter?
Yeah, I was doing deliveries for a Cost Cutter that was local.
Yeah.
And the guy who owns it was like, mate, amazing. These guys are Sikhs.
Yeah,
they own a few businesses down my way. Massive shout to them, by the way, because these guys are they're top dollar.
Is this Unit, I'm assuming?
Yeah,
okay,
and they've always been good to me, like always. And I think that's a lot to do with religion as well. I think Sikhs are quite big on giving back, ain't they?
Yeah, they are. So I'll be honest, I don't know too much about that, but all the Sikhs that I've met are like such amazing people, you know.
So I was doing some stuff for them, and then obviously I went away and kind of done my stuff TV wise, modelling.
Yeah.
And I believe Nova was started by a guy who owned like a digital marketing company. So I think he'd done digital marketing for the guy that I was working for at Costco.
Got you. So I think from what I know, so Aaron and Owen, shout out Aaron and Owen, man, such lovely boys.
Massive.
But they were obviously at this very studio. We were sitting down and we were talking for hours. And I think this was more like when they were doing the marketing stuff, because obviously I do similar stuff. And it was let's just sit down, let's have a chat, let's see if we can help each other. With agencies, it's a funny one, bro, because some are like a bit more focused on video, some are a bit more focused on social. So I was just like, you know what, if we can help each other out, it'd be really cool. So we just spoke for like hours, man, and it was like we would have just kept talking, but then like I think it was Owen, he saw like a massive spider sitting over there, and
I hate spiders.
Yeah, it was huge, right? And then like that was at that point we were trying to work out how to get it out of here. Thankfully Aaron, he managed to just skip it up and then he dashed it outside.
That.
Yeah, but that basically but that basically just like was our sign to like, yeah, we're done talking, man, it's been too long, you know. Because if it wasn't for that spider we would have just spoken for hours and hours. So yeah, but they were obviously doing their marketing and all their kind of advertising stuff, and I found it like super interesting. And then it was after that I think they started to get into the whole Nova stuff. I feel like Nova is fairly new from what I know. It's not like it's been around for a really long time, but it's just so impressive to like the growth see what they've done, man.
Yeah,
you know what I mean,
like these guys are working hard, man. Like, and see what we need to remember, mate, they're young.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know how like, you're like 1%. If you're that young, like mate, when I was 18 I was playing fucking zombies and eating Doritos. I still play zombies and eat Doritos, man. But yeah, I know, like, but like for them to have an idea and to chase it, and it's like I said, like this is why they're like-minded. 100%. They've got a dream and they're chasing it. And I feel like it's changed so much, the dynamic now, because see, when I was like kind of doing my thing in high school, a lot of people were saying, oh, like you're so young, like why are you doing all this stuff? But see, like hustle culture now, it's like they're getting younger and younger, man, and it's so cool to see. The thing is like when you're in a hustle culture, obviously it's like a pack of wolves when you're surrounded with people that are hunting the same stuff as you. Time, bro, it's like on, but at the same time there's people in the background that will be saying stuff about Owen and Aaron as well. Big time, always, and it's good that they, even through it, they're still like, do you know what, we're going to get after this, and 100%, they're making some good moves, and my hat goes off to them because they are still young. But they're getting it cracking, man. No, definitely. I feel like when I was obviously doing my stuff and I was quite young, they'd basically just be saying like, oh, you're so good, like you're amazing at what you do, and that was like the good kind of positive side. But then see nowadays, bro, like see the people that are that age, like they're 10 times better than what I was. So it makes me think like, but you need to remember technology's advanced as well. That's true. But to be fair, now though, like seeing the next, like when those guys are like the age that I am now, I feel like they're going to be like insane, bro. Like, because what you don't remember is like you're keeping up with the times. Yeah. So it's not as if like, cool, the guys that are 18 might be better than what you were when you were 18, but they ain't running a podcast set up like this, are they? Yeah, but I guess that can keep going and going though, because then the guys before our time, they didn't have the internet to even help them. Like I probably wouldn't have met you if it wasn't for, say, internet, social media. Even Aaron and Owen, that's how I met them. It was through social media. So I guess like I know what you're saying, it's so true, but I guess we just work with the tools that we've got, you know, and some people take advantage of it, some people don't. Like I was just curious, I don't want to like go back too much, right? But what are the relationships looking like in your life? Because see, I remember with the Celebs Go Dating stuff, and when I was watching it, I was kind of thinking like, what would happen, right? Like hypothetically speaking, I don't want to mention any shows, but let's say you were with someone, right, and you'd been with them for say like 5-6 years, right? And then an opportunity comes knocking at your door to go on the biggest TV show that's like obviously around dating. How would that work? See, this is a big one for me. And it's not an easy question to answer either. It's tough, like, because there's like a fine line, and it's hard for anybody else to understand. Like, at the end of the day, this is my livelihood. Of course. Like, if I've got a dream to chase something, like, I need to do it, and it's not about anybody else. It's about me. Yeah. Like, and being bluntly honest, like, I've been in a situation where I've kind of grew close to somebody, and then kind of I'm like walking a line, and I'm going like, is this? Do I leap into here or do I leap into here? And it's like moonwalking on a tightrope. Like, you just don't know what's. So. Do you feel like you make it quite clear now to like the person? I've always been transparent. Is it? That's one thing nobody can take away from me. Like, I'm transparent in the sense, like, if I'm going to do something, I'm going to tell you I'm going to do it, and my word is I don't know what word to use. Concrete.
Yeah. It's just, it's being transparent. I think that's the key, isn't it?
I think because I have these ideas that I can start, that I've still got time.
Yeah.
I still have I'm 25 next month, right? Yeah. So realistically, I've still got 5 years to crack something.
No, 100%, yeah. What, crack something in the sense of
crack a big show or do something extravagant.
I wouldn't say it's 5 years, man. You still got time. It's not.
Yeah. No, but I'm just talking about in my own head.
Yeah. I feel like we limit ourselves so much though, based on times that really. It's not like you've just got 5 years, man. Nah, you have people in their 30s doing their thing as well. We forget, bro, we're so young. I know. You know? But
I'm just not ready. Right now, it's trying to find a happy medium, Aqib, because I'm do I settle down, right? And move on to that chapter of my life when I ain't done dream chasing.
Yeah.
And then in 10 years' time, maybe I'll look back and I'll go, I could have done something so extravagant with my life and I just never took a chance. So it's tough, and it hurts. Do you know what I mean? It hurts sometimes that you need to kind of put the nail in the coffin with certain things, and this is what I'm saying. Moving forward, I just need to focus on me a bit.
Yeah, for sure. There's no reason as to why. I'll be honest, bro. I got married quite young. I got married when I was 23, and obviously a lot of people were like, "Oh, you're so young to get married," but do you know what it is, man? It doesn't mean that your life is over when you get married.
The thing is,
with what you do, it's different.
That's what I'm saying. We're in two total different lines. You can be married and cut a bit and take photographs. I can't be married and jump on national television and fire into birds. It's just not.
No, 100%. Yeah, I think it just depends what your goal is. Do you know what I mean? But I think down the line there could be. It depends if the reality TV and that is your kind of main focus. If it is, then I'd get that done and out the way, and then maybe look into that.
That's sort of what my plan is.
Of course, it's all about it's I'm a big believer of God's plan, bro. You know, if God wants you to get married, bro, and settle down, God will find a way to do that. I'm
the exact same, and I feel sometimes you get catastrophe in your life as well because it's 100%. God's plan. People need to adjust their mindsets as well because see, everything that happens to you, it's not the end of the world. People need to wake up. Sometimes some shit happens in life and it's to teach you a lesson.
Big time, yeah.
When are you going to wake up and go, what is this trying to teach me?
Yeah.
Instead of being oh, I'm a victim. Why is this happening to me? And the world's falling. Mate, shut up and stop fucking moaning. Get up and get on with it.
Yeah, that's
Sometimes you need to pick yourself up, dust yourself down and move on.
Yeah,
and that's
100%.
What's important.
It can be hard though sometimes. Of course. You get I remember with my sister when she passed away. I don't know if I ever told you, but she passed away in 2019, and it took me a while to kind of
hear that. I never knew that.
It took me a while to kind of get back to
loss is tough, mate.
Yeah, the work side of things. But you get people. I get what you're saying. You get people that are oh yeah, my dog got lost, and I'm do you know what I mean? And
I fucking hit a pothole yesterday. Do you know what I mean? And my tyre came off.
100%.
And then it's why does the world hate me? My fucking tire's gone. Shut up, mate.
I know. It's a lot of what I've seen though these days. It's a lot of victim. That's why I don't even.
It's a victim mentality.
I don't even like to talk about my sister that much because I don't want people to feel like I'm just kind of he's just trying to kind of get people to feel sorry for him and all that.
No, it's not like that at all.
It's that's what I don't know. I just
tough.
Yeah, I just had that in my head.
But this is what I'm saying. You need to be in a spot where you can use pain as power. Pain is the biggest power you get, whether it's heartbreak, loss, grievance. You need to be able to flip a switch in your mind where you can go, this is painful, but how can I transform this pain into something powerful?
Yeah,
you need to be able to flip that switch in your mind.
Yeah, no, definitely.
For me, the catalyst for me was when I lost my granddad. And that's all of these tattoos. Everything here is all for my granddad. The full sleeves dedicated to my granddad, and anybody that knows me knows how big a part of my life my granddad was with me.
Was it quite recent?
It was a year and a half ago now, but me and my granddad...
It probably feels like yesterday, doesn't it?
Mate, I think about a guy every single day, genuinely. We were so close, me and my granddad. I loved him, and I was his golden boy, mate. Anybody asks, mate, they'll tell you exactly.
I think the worst part about it is even with your granddad, he probably wasn't even here to see a lot of the things that you've went on to do now.
No,
he'd be so proud of you, man. And I feel even with when I was making my videos, my sister's the first person I used to show. So it just shows, man, they're big supporters of us, 100%, And then it's just to be able to show them now, this is what we went on to do, and these are the brands we're working with,
when he passed at the time, it was so tough. I just struggled to come to terms with it, and that was me in that mentality of why me? Why is this happening to me? And it just felt because I was in that place, it felt one thing was happening, the next, and I feel that it's law of attraction, like in your head. So if you're consistently thinking about things that are going wrong in your life, you're just going to attract negativity.
Yeah,
and
no,
like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
When I took a break, like after he passed away, after his funeral was done, I went away on holiday, a couple of weeks, took some time to de-stress, and then see when I came home, I honestly don't know what happened. I woke up one day and I was like, oh, fuck this, I'm going to get after it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to get after it. And I'd just been through a relationship breakup a couple of months prior.
It's the worst, man. It's like so
I
much
was
shit
just like,
at once,
what is going on here? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it was as if God was upstairs with like, puppets.
It's so,
like,
it's so easy though to like fall into that trap though, like what we were just talking about, the whole like victim mindset, like, oh, this is this gone wrong, this is that gone wrong. It's just like trying to like
that's what I'm saying. I used that pain though, like, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to put channel this energy that I've got, that I'm so angry at the world right now, and I'm going to put it into me.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up every day and I'm going to make sure that I'm getting my steps in, and that I'm listening to educational podcasts, and I'm going to the gym, and I'm going to make my life something.
Yeah,
and then
for sure.
No joke, 6 months I done this every single day. When I woke up, I had a checklist, and I was like, I'm going to do this and this, and I made sure I ticked every single box. And see, by the time it got from January to June, mate, I'd transformed. Best shape of my life. Like, I was diced to the T. Like, I'm talking like so shredded. I was in amazing shape. I was so confident. I could hold conversations with everybody and anybody. Then that opportunity comes to me.
Yeah,
to
it's
go on
crazy.
TV. So
100%.
like, I stopped thinking about the negative, and I just was like, instead of being angry at the world, like, let me channel this. And then bang, before you know it, you've transformed. And when you are 100% you, that's what I'm saying, these opportunities, they come.
Yeah, no, big time. I think it's definitely crazy just how the world works, isn't it? And like what can happen when you least expect it. But no, I'm sure your granddad would be super proud of you, man.
Nah, I know that, mate. He'll be smiling.
He will be 100%. He'll be happy, man. Yeah, life is just too short, bro. I think that's what we forget sometimes. And like, I'm working all the time. I'll be honest, I feel like I'm working unhealthy hours sometimes. I'm just like always so focused on this craft.
Do you feel like because you do what you love, do you feel like you're working?
Sometimes.
Do you?
Right, it's hard. Like
I suppose it depends.
I'm passionate about all this sort of stuff and all the content, and I love filming, I love editing, but when you're working through, say, you're like fifth edit that week, then sometimes it can start to turn into like a bit of a job. But then I remind myself, like, if I was working out at a normal 9 to 5, it would be 10 times worse.
Like, if you take like this for example, like, this is unpaid. Like, nobody's paying you to do
this is unpaid,
and this is like, you're doing this out your own time.
That's
because it's a hobby.
I'd still consider it work though, to an extent. Although it's not like I'm not trying to monetize this, I'm not trying to make money from this. It's more just for fun. But it's still kind of like, it's building the personal brand. It's gonna like long term. It does benefit me. And the most important thing, like I touched on earlier off camera, was like, I just get to meet some really cool people as well. Do you know what I mean? That I wouldn't probably get to meet otherwise. Like this conversation we're having, and like we're talking really deeply about life. And I love these types of conversations, man. And you never really get that anymore. Like when you're out and you meet someone, and like you'll just have like very kind of surface level convo. Whereas podcasts just allow you to like really get to know some cool people, you know. So it's a win-win for me.
100%.
But I think sometimes I just feel like I'm working so much, and I'm forgetting that life is so short. We need to have moments where we can just kick back, relax.
You do.
I'm not sure, like, what do you get up to when you're not like modelling, when you're not working, when you're not at the gym? Like, do you have any ways to chill out?
This year's been a shit show for me. I honestly don't think I've had more than 2 weekends where I went out and just socialised, got on the piss. Like, but now I'm having that, like, I can feel that little switch in my head going again where I'm like, it's time to dial in. It's time to start getting it done.
Got you,
and now if I'm getting a buzz, it's probably I'll go and try a new gym at the weekend, or I'll go for a spa on a Sunday and switch off.
That's so healthy though, man. Like, it's much better to be like that. I think for me, like when I've got a bit of time off, let's say my wife's at work, then I'll just like kick back and play some games with my boys.
Definitely.
I'll just like play some COD because the thing is, see, if I'm just working too much, I feel like it does get to me and I start to burn out and I'm not as creative. So having that like gap where I can kind of just switch off and chill out. But then it's a weird one, man, because see, even the days where I want to relax and do nothing, I just end up more like stressed than what I was before because I want to work. So it's like, I can't really win. It's a double-edged sword, you know.
I know.
But it's definitely something I'm working on. But yeah, just getting ready to wrap this up soon. Obviously with your kind of like modelling side, there's going to be a lot of people that are looking to potentially get in the game. Maybe they get some good likes on social media. Maybe they're a good looking chap. Maybe they want to obviously get into the modelling industry. What advice would you give to them?
Good question. So starting out, it kind of depends on what your motive is. Like, are you in this to make money? Do you want a career?
Yeah.
Or are you in this for validation? So for me, I think a lot of people would argue and say like, this is like, oh, he does this for validation, but again, that's background noise. Like, I'm in this because I think I'm good at this, of course, and I can make money.
Yeah.
So if you're starting out, first things first, get yourself some digitals. Go, again, it's investment in yourself. Like, regardless of what you do, I feel like there's a lot of instances where you're going to pay out before you receive. You need to speculate in order to accumulate. So get a photographer, Aqib. Make sure you go to Aqib. And then get some professional digitals done. Headshots, build a portfolio. Apply to castings. Go to open castings. If there's castings for agencies, go to them. Maybe contact several agencies. Find your niche. What do you enjoy? And the biggest advice I can give anyone is don't listen to anybody that's got some bad shit to say about you. Just because you've got an idea and you want to be different. Don't listen to them. Like, nice one, buddy. Enjoy working Monday, like fuck off.
Then just go find another agency, because there's different agencies for like different styles as well, aren't they? So
no, but I mean in general, I'm talking about like people. So like
people.
It's where we live. Like, mate, see when I'm in London, right? Yeah. If I'm in London and I'm training in the gym, mate, these guys have got their tops off, cameras, video, and making content. Everybody's smashing it, and it's like, what are you doing? Like, how are you doing this? And everybody's networking, growth. Like whereas here it's like, mate, if I went into JD gyms in Greenock and took my top off and tried to record myself, like, somebody would hit me with a kettlebell. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so,
no, 100%.
It's about your environment, and you just, like, if you've got a dream, man, just trust it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like it's I don't know what you touched on there. It's so funny because I feel like Scotland is just so negative though.
Yeah, it is.
Like I used to do quite a lot of work in London, and I would be down there, and then I'd have like guys hitting me up.
London's a different place.
Yeah, and they'd be hitting me up, and they'd be like, "Oh, I see you're like in this neck of the woods. If you need anything, just let me know." And these are like other videographers. Like, I need any equipment or whatever it is, and I just found it like such a supportive environment.
Like at home.
Whereas Scotland, I just feel like, don't get me wrong, like there's a lot of like good people around here.
I think it's the mindset up here. It's just totally twisted and wrong. Like,
it just seems like
people live for the weekend. That is the world that we're in.
I've noticed that as well. Yeah, and it's just
we'll go to work, and then at the weekend it's let's jump up to Kong and get a bottle.
Big time. See, even for like the UK in general, I don't know how your thoughts are, but I just feel like it's going downhill big time, man. I'm trying to find like an opportunity I can get to just get out of here, man. Same. Like, there's so many people that I know that are doing.
Do you know, this is honestly so random.
Yeah, that's alright. Yeah.
Do you know what my dream job is?
What?
Foreign poster.
Oh really?
I want to be a foreign postman.
Oh, okay, well.
That's a dream. What do you mean, why? Like, you just walk about the streets, top off, beats on, delivering mail, 30 degrees.
That's true, actually.
Jump into the Irish bar, get a half pint, stroll down the beach, sand on your feet.
So that's your idea of what you maybe want to do in the future.
That is the dream. So if none of this shit works, I'm phoning the Royal Mail in Indonesia. I don't know if they have a Royal Mail.
So such a valid point, actually. But quite cool, seeing all the different houses and stuff in these different places as well. So if you disappear, then at least I'll know where you're off.
You know where I am. Just contact all the mail companies in each country and see what one I'm in.
No, that's awesome. It's funny, man, because when we were obviously talking about the kind of like TV stuff, it's funny. I used to do a bit of TV as well. I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was with an agency, right, and they were Glasgow based. It was just
what kind of TV?
It was extra work, bro. So I wasn't on your level, man. I wasn't like the main character, right? But it was quite fun, man. Like, I was in high school at the time. I was probably like 15,
what kind of shows did you do?
So I done Still Game.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. So I was like, literally, it's so funny though, man. See, when I say I did Still Game, I don't even know if I can call it that, right? It was literally
if I watch Still Game, can I find you?
See, I've struggled to even find the episode that I'm on. I've seen it before. See, when it first aired, a lot of people sent me videos, but
so
all I'm doing, right, is Jack and Victor, I think they come out of the shop, you know, the wee classic shop, and I'm literally in the background, and then they told me to like walk over to this girl and then talk to her for like 2 minutes and then walk away.
Back out,
yeah, so it was just background shit, and easy like money. I'd be on my phone. I would make, I think it was like a day of, you would just be sitting about all day, I'll be honest. It was boring, but like,
what's the money like for an extra?
I think it was about 150 quid for the day or something, man. It's alright.
That's easy, isn't it?
It's alright. It's not like if someone's it's not like it's happening all the time either. It's
Yeah.
very occasional, kind of like you'll just get called up, you fit the bill of what they want.
Yep.
But I did like a few still games. It was quite cool to just see the behind the scenes and stuff as well, and you're watching behind the cameras as like Jack and Victor are doing their thing.
That's mad.
So
I'm gonna look for that.
yeah, I'll try and find it as well. It was just quite funny, like the whole like what they made me do as well. It was just like be on your phone and then like,
see when somebody tells you to do something that's natural, how unnatural do you feel?
I know, I think I was alright, man, to an extent. I wasn't too bad, see, because I kind of had done a bit of like YouTube and stuff. It wasn't as bad as it probably would have been. But it's definitely like a fun experience. I don't really tell many people that. I also did like a bit of River City as well. I'm not sure if you're familiar with River City.
Ty's one of the boy in Nova. He's one of the main. I'm sure.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm sure he's one of the main characters in River City.
Oh, fair enough.
Ty's on,
I think I did see that. Yeah. Again, what I done, it was such a long time ago, and it was just like walking past the camera. But again, like it was a bit of money. It was like it was a day out. In the way it used to work, I'm not sure what a lot of these other kind of shows are like. But they would just have like a big van, for example, and then you would just be chilling in there. You would get a munch. You'd get your food. You'd get your dinner, lunch. I was
talking to Ty at the last Nova show, right? And I says to him, like, I mean, bearing in mind I've met this guy like 2 hours ago. I was like, so what are you up to at the weekend, mate? And he was like, killing my auntie. And I was like,
really?
I was like, what do you mean you're killing?
Wild, man.
I was like, what do you mean you're killing your auntie?
Yeah.
And then he was like, on the show, mate.
Oh, it's like he just knew. He thought,
City, mate, I'm killing my auntie. I was like, bad man.
That's wild, man. River City, I'll be honest, I don't really tend to watch a lot of TV. I'm more of just a Netflix guy now. I would rather just, if I want to watch something, I'll just watch it on YouTube or Netflix, you know? Because I feel like TV and just like...
Did you watch Baby Reindeer?
I did. I found it super weird, man. It got to a point though, like halfway through, where it just got a bit dark, bro. And I was a bit like... I know it's like reality and it's like this stuff actually happens or happened.
Martha.
Yeah, but it was just certain points it just started to like take a bit of a turn, and I think I was like eating, and I was like, usually I'll just like have time to like watch things when I'm eating or like just spending time with my missus. Yeah, and then it just started to go weird, bro, and I was like, I don't know if this is...
CBeebies on.
That's it, exactly. Yeah, what about, I got to ask you, you're obviously from Greenock, right? Yep. And there was a show called... I'm going to
Waterloo Road.
That's it. Did you ever were you doing anything with Waterloo Road?
I was young, to be honest, when that was happening, but like my cousin done some parts in it.
Because I remember the school was a funny story. Like my dad, he's a motor mechanic and he's quite into like cars, so he'll have like obviously a car and he'll sell it. And I think he had something on the market, and Waterloo Road actually saw it and they wanted to buy it for the show.
What the hell?
It was just, I can't even remember what kind of
so
car
much money
it was,
TV,
but I think it was just like a Vauxhall or just something so basic. And I thought it wasn't the nicest car anyway, but they obviously saw something in it. And then my dad like dropped it off to them, and I think they gave like him, my sister and my mum like a tour of the school as well. And it was just so random, but it's so strange. It's like quite close to home, which is like quite cool. Do you know what I mean? The fact that this stuff, like these big productions are happening.
I don't even know if that show still runs, does it?
I don't think it does, bro. This is a long time ago, man. This is maybe like, I'm talking like 2015 maybe, man. So I don't know. That's like, doesn't seem like that long ago now, but that's like over 10 years now. Do you know what I mean? So it's a crazy time, man. A crazy time. But yeah, I want to wrap this up now. Obviously, we've been talking for a while. It's been a great pod. Obviously, the first one, we've got a lot to learn. Obviously, when it comes to like talking, usually I'm able to make my cuts in the YouTube videos so I can make it all sound perfect. This has all been like one take. We did have like a few slight hiccups with the cameras, but I'm hoping I'll be able to kind of like hide that and just keep it authentic. No one really cares at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? It's just like I want to just have like more of an authentic side to this content now. You know, that's the phase that I'm on now. That's the journey I'm on. So on social media, man, where can they find you?
So my Instagram's Connor.Mcghee73. I'll get you to throw that in there.
I'll plug that in the descriptions and all of that.
I've started using TikTok as well. So
is it?
My TikTok is Connor Mcghee.
How are you finding TikTok? What kind of content are you posting on it?
Mate, total nonsense. That's what booms like. Honestly, I spend so much time trying to make like fitness content and that, and I'm like, maybe the world wants to know what I had for breakfast. Like they don't give a shit. Like, but when there's a poor tune on in the gym or something, and I'm recording myself talking about how poor the tune is, like that booms.
It's crazy. The world's just a weird place. I feel like TikTok's... sorry, you're good. it's all natural. It's uncut. But I feel like with TikTok is... I've got a weird kind of relationship with TikTok, man, because I like the fact that it's short content and some of the videos are quite cool and engaging.
I just feel like you spend a lot of time though, like, see, kind of cutting it up, like editing, kind of getting the right angles and that.
Yeah, it's just for one app as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so but like nobody, like people just on their For You page and they're like,
I know, 100%. It's like with TikTok,
engaging.
The issue that I have with TikTok is like I've always been like the professional production type of guy, and like with TikTok, the best types of videos are the ones that you film on your phone.
Do you know? I actually don't think so though, because see, like stuff like this, people are clipping up parts from podcasts and they're booming constant.
Yeah,
like, the biggest guys, like, are the people that are doing like streaming and making content, and it's because at the end of the day, people buy people. Like, they don't care what you're doing. Like, if you have some personality, like, then people buy into that. Like Kais and that, and like
they're killing it, man. These streamers,
all he does is just, do you know what I mean? He's just being him.
Yeah, like these streamers, I respect it so much, man. I feel like so many people think they're just doing nothing, but like, see the amount of effort that goes into streaming. I did a little bit of it like a couple of years back. I used to be quite into my gaming, and I'd be like recording, streaming. It's hard work, man, because you're doing like hours per one stream, and then you get tired, but then you need to like keep going and being like engaging.
Yeah, that's tough.
But they make a shit ton of money, man, which is a plus. Do you know what I mean? It's like crazy.
You know, actually, what's nuts? I don't know if you know this, right? I'm gonna plug somebody else here.
Yeah, you go for it.
Jevin, do you remember Jev? Jev had his collection.
Was that the one with the mask? And it was like,
mate, Kai Sinat messaged him on Instagram.
I think I saw that actually. I think I saw that. It was the Lego mask, wasn't it?
Me and Cammy Niven modelled this mask, and Kai Sinat has asked Jev for a Lego mask.
That's wild.
Levels.
So what happened? Do you know what happened with it? Did he?
He made one and shipped it out to him.
Oh, really? Did he like do some promo or stuff?
I ain't seen it. If he did, then I ain't seen it. But like, Jeff's smashing it, man. Like, you should see this guy's so creative.
That's wild. Do you know them boys? Like even before Novara, was it?
I met him at the show. Netwatch or Net Worth.
It's kind of hard, man, because at the show when I'm filming, like, there's so many cool people there, but it's hard to like talk to everyone. But I did kind of like, I have seen his stuff, and obviously the outfits and like obviously the collection that he's got is insane. So best luck to that guy. Maybe one day he might hop in the pod, man, and we can talk to him and like where his ideas come from. The thing is with this podcast, bro, at one point I was like, I just want business people, I just want like influencers or YouTubers, but what's the point of narrowing it down so much? I just want to ultimately talk to like interesting people, because if I feel like they're interesting, then chances are everyone else will find them interesting as well. So it's it's just exploring, talking to different people, learning about different things, and that's kind of the goal of the podcast. But mate, thank you so much for being here. It's been an absolute pleasure.
It's been a pleasure on my behalf, mate. Thanks
obviously,
for
the first podcast, I know it's a bit of a risk for someone to just jump onto it, but I appreciate you trusting the production, trusting.
Well, at least when it comes, I can say, I christened that.
That's it. That's true, man. Exactly. I'm just hoping that this will be like a nice long term thing. Yeah, man. I couldn't have picked a better
first, as well, mate. It's been a pleasure. So thanks for having me.